Right, hello again and welcome to the Dutchin channel. Now this is the results show. It's a program I do after the racing every day just to show you how we got on. You can look at these results, go back on them, see there's no cheating. And of course the time now is Saturday evening, 16th of March 2024, and it's just gone 9:45 in the evening. So this is my sheet that I always show you first of all, is the 5 meetings that we backed in today. And if you look down the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that we made a profit of £138.33. But I do bet in every race I should throughout the whole day. I don't just stick to one meeting. Because where we're going to start off is Utoxeter. This was the first meeting and it was terrible. And if you look there, we was £250 down at the meeting. I had one winner out of 7, which isn't good, but we will run through races individually after I've done all this. But this is why I don't just stick to one meeting. I do have people that pay subscriptions for all of this. And I think someone today just done Utoxeter. But you have to tell people time and time again, this is the long game what I play here. And if you can't do the whole day, don't do parts of it, because it doesn't work. So after Utoxeter, this was our first National Hunt meeting. The second meeting was then at Newcastle. And at Newcastle, it was a little bit better, and we made a profit there of £70.72. And you can see in this column where you just get all the dashes on Utoxeter and only one draw, that we had 1, 2, 3, 4 draws here that were all profitable draws. As long as they're over £50, because that's the stake, then there's a profit in it. So that was Newcastle. Then we had Kempton this afternoon. I don't know if you've noticed that I've been downloading races or uploading races, and Kempton was one of those meetings today. I always upload the race after about 10 minutes after it's finished, so you can go and watch it if you didn't watch it live, or you just want to watch it again. You know, perhaps there was a horse you saw there that perhaps maybe could win next time out. So these videos I am putting on 10 minutes after. Tomorrow we have Down Royal from Ireland. We also have Wexford from Ireland and Huntingdon from the UK. I will be doing the same on those 3 meetings tomorrow. So if you was to come and log in, go to my site and have a look around, say 10-15 minutes just to be safe. That race should be on there for you to view. So getting back to Kempton, we didn't make anything at all at Kempton. We had 3 winners and 3 losers. But again, I'm sure a lot of people would be happy to go home breaking level. But that's not my intentions. I roughly have a 57% strike rate. So when you look at Utoxeter and you think, well, I don't think you do there, this is about a long-term strategy, maybe a 3-month period. This isn't over one meeting or one day. So then into Southall tonight. Now Southall, I've had really 2 bad meetings in the last 8 days there, really bad. And here we made a profit for the first time of £52.83. So perhaps it's going to turn for us there now. We did have 3 on the trot here. And then, of course, the last 2, nothing at all. But the best meeting of the evening, as you can see here, there was a draw in every race at Wolverhampton, and every draw that I had was a profit. So the profit at Wolverhampton tonight was £264.78. And those of you who went with me who looked at my selections today that I put up for the 2 all-weather meetings, the profit I've had out of it is 317.61 for 2 meetings combined. I don't know if anybody will leave a comment or something, whether you checked it out, whether you've done any of those selections. And of course, out of all the selections that I did put up today, and I always put every single race that I'm going to bet in, so it would have been every race at 5 meetings. The best bet of the day I put up was in the 4:30 at Kempton, which won. But we'll come to that when I go through each race and view it for you. So, since I've uploaded everything from last Thursday, so that's 10 days now, I had a losing day of £183, and yesterday we lost as well, which was nearly £19. They're the only 2 losses we've had in those 10 days, and we've now made around £1,450 profit, including those 2 losses in 10 days. So that's okay as well. So starting with the first race at Uttoxeter today, the 1:15, below the radar. I couldn't have given this at all, but again, I do have a lot of ones that get beat into second and don't rightly know when off at 3.74, and that was one of my first selections of the day for being second. Into the second race at Uttoxeter, the 1:50, Santos Blue. I had that. I thought, come on, let's get going now at Uttoxeter. That was 7.2 at Betfair. When you see me do these races, you can always check back. You can go into Timeform, Betfair results, and you'll see that all these prices will be exactly what they are in Betfair. And the stakes will return £100, except the last one, because you can only put on the last one what you've got left. So there won't be no cheating. You can see where all the horses finished, which I've got in the last column there. You can check back to any day. Everything is proved before the race starts. And into the third race at Uttoxeter, the 2:25. Again, this is where it all started going wrong. I was level after the first 2 races, and then Gwenny Mayboy came in. Quite a short price considering, 7.62, but my form was nowhere near it. And this time I didn't have anything in the frame, and it was a terrible race. Then in the 3 o'clock, this was the Midlands Grand National, and I really thought I had good chances here, because the first 3, I thought if any of those run at Liverpool in the proper Grand National, then I thought these mostly have got a chance in that as well. But through come Beauport, a big price on Betfair of 24.93, and yet you got it. I was second and third there. Mr. Incredible and My Silver Lining. Then into the 5th race at Uttoxeter. My 4th selection came through, Regal Blue. And again, this was an outsider at 23.73, so I don't think I was on my own when I look at the ones that had lost here. And you've got it again. My second selection, my other selection above that came second. So that's the 3rd second I've had there. But of course, you don't get nothing for being a bridesmaid. Then we went into the 4:10, Jupiter de Geet. And 7.4 wasn't a massive price, but again, I couldn't do anything. If you looked here, the 3 I didn't back came first, second, and third. So you know your form's out. And into the 7th race there at Uttoxeter. One thing I don't ever do is up my stake or double my stake. So some people say, well, if you lose the first race, you can double it on the second race, and you can. and then you can double it on the third race and the fourth race and the fifth race and the sixth race. But how much stakes are you going to have in your bank when you've already lost 50 on the first? You can't go 100, 200, 400, 800, because there's no guarantee that you'll get any of that back. So just even stake on each race. You either win or you lose. So into the 1/4-5, Lieutenant Main won the last race. Another one, it was my third selection, but you got it. I had the second and third. So out of 7 races there, I did manage to pick up 4 seconds and a winner, but you don't get anything for those seconds. Then we went to Newcastle. We actually made a profit here, I think. Showed you this one. Yeah, we made a £70.72 profit at Newcastle. But you can see where it had all gone wrong to start with, because we had lost 5 or 6 races there out of 7, then continued on to Newcastle with the first 2 losers as well. I'm sure people were thinking, oh, what's going to happen today? So in that first race at Newcastle, again, it was our second selection from the clouds that won, but because we backed Young Jack that was under even money at 1.83, we can only bet 1 horse in the race. And the one that was our second selection wins at 8.72. So I thought, oh, here we go. Another meeting. Then into the second race, the 202, a horse called Track won this. And yet again, you can see there, the 2 I left out came first and second. So I don't just sit here showing you the winners all afternoon and evening, because I'm like everyone else. I have a high percentage of losers. All I need to do is keep to my 57%. It doesn't sound a great winning amount, but if you've got 57 winners out of 100, you've got 43 losers, which tells you that all you're going to have is 14 winners. But those 14 winners at £50 comes to 700 quid. And that £700 can be got in 100 races in 4 to 5 days. So you can win a lot of money if you keep doing it correctly. Then into the 237 at Newcastle, Brentford Hope had won this one, and I did give Salsada, which was nearly 25 on Betfair. So that was the outsider, which ran a good race actually to come third. But the one under that, Brentford Hope, we backed, and that was a winning selection. Only the second winning selection of the afternoon so far. Then into Newcastle for the 312. It was favourite time again here, and this was Cruise Control, but I did have one to beat that, which was Houston, Texas. That went off at 13.64, finished third, but the majority of our money was on Cruise Control, so that brought in another win. Then into the 347, we backed this the other day and it won. And today, Heritier Sivola was our top selection, so no worries there. We backed the 4th as well, but that was a straight win for our top selection. Then into the 422, this was Call Me Jack. Now, I didn't really think I'd end up getting that as a win, but I did. It was our 4th selection down, and what we had left to put on this was £17.29 at 4.4. So it did bring us an okay profit for that race. And that's the difference between Dutching and just putting your money on one horse. You know, I've managed to back 4 horses there to get that profit. The 457 was a no bet. And what I mean by a no bet is that horses that don't have any under rules form, I leave alone. So that would have been at least one runner in that. I'm not going to go back and show you the cards, but there would have been a horse or horses, plural, that didn't have any form, and I don't like betting in those races. So now we go into Kempton for the first race, the 135. No one really wanted a back Persian time. It was on the drift. It was one of Nicky Henderson's, and he's had such a poor time. But our first selection was Issar Deri, and that went on the drift as well. That went out to 4.5. But of course, Persian time was going out as well, which enabled us to back the 3 horses in the race, and Persian time ran a good race. That's one of the videos that I've uploaded, so that'll be on the site there somewhere to find. So that put us in credit, if you like, at Kempton, but we were chasing a lot of money still. Then into the 210 at Kempton, Boom Bourne had won this, and this was another one scratching my head there. Couldn't really see how that one. Didn't back the second either, so I don't feel unlucky in that. I just think it was a poor run race for us. Into the 245 at Kempton, Outlaw Peter, and again, this has gone off favourite, and I'm looking at it and thinking of my form there, how is it won? But you can see with the top selection here, Phlegmatic finished second, and that's always going to be part and parcel if I don't get the winner. Then moving into the 320 at Kempton, Why Not? At some point I thought that was going to get beat, but it battled on again and run really well actually. So I was happy that that came in. I had the first, third and fourth, but that one there brought full profits back. Then into the 355 at Kempton, seems to go 1 winner, 1 loser, 1 winner, 1 loser, and now it was time for a loser. So slipped way off top weight, run well, didn't have much form going for it, but again, I had Egbert and that finished second, but nothing in return for a second. Then into the 430 at Kempton, this was my nap of the day. This was not pronounced the way I said it was, Camsinus. I think it was, well, I still don't know. That's all I can see it as. Anyway, Camsinus was my nap of the day there. That one at 5-2 didn't really take much notice there, but 386, a little bit better on Betfair. So well done for the people that watched the video there and took note. And we had the straight forecast there as well. And then into the last race, this was a National Hunt flat race. Half of the field hadn't run before, so it's a straight line through that. Then it was into the 2 meetings, the all-weather. And this, I'll say, I did post a video on this with all the selections tonight. So if you've followed that, you should be quids in, really. In the first race at Southall, the 405, we had real terms. It paid a profit. It wasn't the best one I had there. Destinado was second. And my best price evening horse that ran was Zillion. This is the one I thought, well, perhaps it might run well for its price, but I didn't realise it had paid 40 on Betfair. But it only came fourth anyway, and there was only 6 runners, so you wouldn't have been even drawing if you did it for a place. They wouldn't have paid up to 4. Then the 440 at Southall, you can guess there, right? The horses that hadn't run before, just put a line through it. And then we went into the 515 at Southall. Enola Gray was our top selection and duly obliged. So that was a full profit in the 515. Moving into the 5:45, our top selection was Notre Dame, duly obliged, won at 3.8. So another winner at Southall. And now we're starting to claw back some money from the losses, the bad losses at Uttoxeter. Moving into the 6:15, our top selection was Brother Dave, and that comes through, wins at 5.02 on Betfair. So now we've had 3 top selections on the trot. And unfortunately, the last 2 races at Southall both let me down. We had Stacey Racy again. I don't know why that was such, I say a short price, but 8.2, and yet you got it. Our top selection, Road Dream. Oh, no, it wasn't second. Making that up. The Real McKay was second here, and again, I couldn't pick anything in that race, so I don't feel like I've been robbed. And then in the last race, it was even worse, because the bottom selection here, which was my worst one, that was Late Arrival in the 7:15. Couldn't get the second again, so I don't know what happened in the last 2 races, but thank God that we did make a profit at that meeting of 52.83. But over the period of the last week, I've most probably lost there. I think it was 250 one day and 90 another. So out of 340, I've only recouped £52, but I never really worry about one meeting because, as I said, it's the long term and all the meetings put together. So that was Southall, and then we went into Wolverhampton, and thank God for Wolverhampton and a £264 profit there to take all the misery away from Uttoxeter and put us in a nice position by the end of the evening. The 5:30 at Wolverhampton, Ocean Ridge. Now, as I said to you, it was 7 races and I got a draw in every single one of those races. And this was a full profit race for us because we backed 4 in it, and that's what I say to you about betting 1 horse per race. Don't do it. This is such a nice system, but it takes patience. So that was Ocean Ridge in the first. Then we moved into the 6 o'clock. We had Mamaluka as our top selection, duly obliged at 7.82. So that was a nice winner. The third race, you got it. Horses that hadn't been under rules, just put a line straight through it. Then we went into the 7 o'clock, top selection again. Lawman's Bliss this time. This is one at 3.6. So I think just across the card at that time, we had 2 winners at Wolverhampton, top selections, and 3 at Southall. And moving into our, fourth race, the 7:30. This was a bit of a strange one, really. I had Intinzo as my third selection, but I didn't have no idea that this was going to be a silly price of around 8 to 15 or 1.54. And lucky the 2 that we had above, which was Dream Harder at 18 and Joanne Lepan, which was 40, left me enough money to put on Intinzo to make a profit. So that was the 7:30. Now the penultimate, which was the 8 o'clock, top selection again. And I haven't filled in the prices here, but it's top selection, and that would have won us our money. And in the last race, I haven't worked the Betfair prices out again, but as you can see, top selection again. Harbour Vision would have given us top profits. So at the end of the day, we managed, I say, to scrape, and I think that is the right word because it was so bad at the start that to get £138 profit by the end was brilliant, and I was really, really happy with that. So as I say again, for tomorrow, we've got Huntingdon and Chepstow. They're the 2 meetings there. If you go on there, there's a nap to take down tomorrow and watch that video, and I will upload the races after they finished, and that would be from Huntingdon, Wexford and Down Royal. But other than that, it's time to call it a night now. So I'll upload this video and we'll catch up again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.